Hello, good evening. So greetings to everybody, and tonight it's November the 8th in the year 2012 and AD, and this is the 17th episode of the Mobuku Chronicles, and I haven't done a Mobuku Chronicle now since August, so that's 3 months, and the reason being that I was discussing in the last episode the threefold Commonwealth, and as I began to continue my studies after that, I realized that I had to do a lot more study in order to present what I would have to say about the threefold Commonwealth. And to sum up what I've done so far, beginning with the first episode in February of 2011, that the whole purpose of the Mobuku Chronicles is to give everybody the knowledge and the tools and the wherewithal to emancipate ourselves from the machinations of the matrix. We'll just call it that. And the volume's still a little loud. By the way, the theme music that I'm using throughout all these episodes is the composer Bruckner, First Symphony, and I highly recommend, if you're a music lover, to get a hold of Mr. Bruckner's entire work, all his symphonies and his masses and so forth. At any rate, and this emancipation from the machination of the matrix consists of three parts, all interwoven with one another, and they are changing our way of eating to that of a macrobiotic informed daily diet of whole grains and vegetables. And I probably spent the first 8 episodes talking about that. And then I got into the whole business of protecting ourselves from the economic slavery, the serfdom that the matrix wishes to place us in. And I talked about the Federal Reserve and the banking system, and that the means to protect ourselves is readily available by purchasing gold and silver and storing it in your own possession. And that probably took about another, probably 6 or 7 episodes. And then I started talking about spiritual development, and I focused on the threefold Commonwealth as a means whereby we could all do 2 things. One is develop ourselves spiritually to give us the tools to be able to do that, and the other is to find the solution to the smashing itself to pieces of the nation state. Now, before I get into what I'm going to talk about tonight, these are the 3 books that I am studying. There's another one which I haven't got yet. I thought I did have it in my possession. The Threefold Commonwealth. Actually, I only found out this today that I had this. And I'm pleased to find that I do have this copy, because it's a 1919 edition with a foreword by Steiner himself. So, because I always prefer the older translations of Steiner's work. And then there's this one, The Threefold Social Order. And then there's this one, Social Issues. The fourth one is called Towards Social Renewal, and I will be getting that. Now the subtitle of this one is Meditative Thinking and the Threefold, as it's called here, Social Order, which I call the Threefold Commonwealth. And it says at the top, transforming society depends on transforming our thinking. And I'm going to make an attempt to lead us in that direction tonight. That is, transforming our thinking, and what that entails and what that means. And the essential subject matter of tonight's episode is a refutation of the modern dogma that the human being is a machine. Now you may say, well, that's not really true, but in fact it is. Most people, if they think about what the human being is, if they think about that at all, which is doubtful that many people actually think about what the human being is, but the behavior of most of the world's population indicates that they actually do think that the human being is a machine. And of course many prominent people in the Western world, and America especially, do think that. I mean, I was just reading not so long ago a piece by a famous hedge fund manager, and he's famous because he controls, his hedge fund manages $300 billion of assets for its clients. And I don't remember the name of the hedge fund, and I don't remember the name of the man. And it doesn't really matter, because this is pretty prevalent. And it's certainly what underlies human behavior today in all realms of existence. And that is, since he's a money manager, he pays attention to the markets, the bond market, the currency markets, whatever. And he says the market is a machine. And he also said nature is a machine. So since we are, as human beings, shall we say, also natural organism, that would imply that he thinks that the human being is a machine. And I've seen various quotes from various prominent people that have said that. Now, this attempt tonight is to thoroughly refute the dogma that the human being is a machine. Now, let's just take that as face value, that we are in fact machines, that our body is a machine, and that everything that has to do with the human being functions like a machine. Well, the fact of the matter is, there is an aspect of the human being which is physico-chemical. We have a physico-chemical body, and that is the one that we see when we look at each other. Now, let us say that we are in fact that the human being is his or her body, and that this body is a physical, chemical organism. Because there is justifiably the recognition that the external aspects of the human being, that is the physical chemical body, does function like a machine. There's no question about it. You know, we have a body that obeys the laws of physics, and we have internal functions that operate according to the laws of chemistry. There's no doubt about that. However, if we examine this more closely, and we say, okay, let's say we are the human being is a machine, all right, so let's look at machines as such, because all machines that we devise and construct and build are nothing more than a copy of what one or other aspect of the human physical chemical body. I mean, you can look at an automobile, or a computer, or a hammer, or a wrench, or a crane, and they are all copies inspired by one or other aspect of the human physical chemical body. There's no question about that. Now, when we look at the machines that we do and have built and created and use, they have certain characteristics which are very obvious. Now, one of them, and I got some notes here that I took when I was studying this and meditating upon it. Is that these copies, these machines that are copies of, you know, one aspect or another, like the internal combustion engine is a copy of the four-chambered heart, or the binary code that is used in computers is a copy of the nerve impulses, and you could go on and on. Now, one thing about machines, all machines, any machine which is similar to a machine of a like kind behaves in the same way. All cars, for instance, which are all built according to the same fundamental principles, such that a Model T Ford really is no different fundamentally from a Lamborghini or a Rolls Royce. I mean, they're fundamentally the same, and they operate according to the same physical, mathematical, and mechanical principles. And you could say that of every single machine we make. You know, whether it's a crane, or a computer, or a TV, or they're all the same. All TVs are the same in terms of their fundamental way they function. And now, of course, there's different designs, there's better designs, there's more advanced designs and so forth and so on. But fundamentally, they're all the same. So that's really important to keep in mind, that all machines of the same kind function according to the same principles. Whether you're talking about a car, or a plane, or a boat, etc. Now, the one thing that has to be a priority in the design of machines of any kind is that they function predictably. You know, you get into a car, get behind the wheel, you start it up, and you move along the road, you turn the steering wheel to the right, the car moves to the right. That's what's going to happen. Every car, without exception.